Arrow, and there's some people out there that are helping out with this. This is a bracket we got from Holly Performance. Now what we're going to do is take the stock clamshell off of the cross member where the 5 liter used to sit. The upside to
Alright, let's go.
We're actually going to go into 4 holes that are already on the cross member. And then the flip side of that is we're going to take a stock clamshell for a newer series LS. We're going to bolt this directly to our LS.
Don't mind the white boy music.
Yeah, it's like this thing fits in here.
Our engine fits easily into our motor mounts, and a couple taps with the hammer get the bolts all the way through.
There's a lot of you guys out there putting LSs in anything and everything. And there's some vital signs we need to keep track of, like the oil pressure and the coolant temp. Now we know that the stock sensors on our LS aren't going to work with our gauges inside of our Camaro. What we could do is switch out the dash, but we want to leave it the same and look stock appearing. We could also come out here in the engine bay, find our stock sensors, look for our wiring to match, see if the connections match, and if they don't, get into the harness, cut and splice new connectors in it. Now that's all fine and dandy if that's something you guys want to do, but we're looking for something a little more plug and play ready. So we're going to be adding a brand new set of stock 305 sensors. We're going to start with the coolant temp sensor. Now, the coolant temp sensor for our LS, we need to keep that.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and the very wonderful AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Obviously, they do.
Back here on the passenger side cylinder head. Now, that's a pretty tight fit, and we knew we weren't going to be able to do it when the engine was installed, so we went ahead, took care of that when it was sitting out on the engine stand. This port didn't match the thread pitch of our new sensor. So to remedy that, we used a 9/16 drill bit with some grease on the end of the The grease will now help collect the metal shavings and falling into the places where we don't want them. We'll follow that up with a 3/8 NPT tap to match the pitch of our new coolant temperature sensor. On the oil pressure side of things, the stock oil pressure sensor is on top of our LS, and that's not going to work for us because it doesn't plug into our harness. But the cool thing is that every LS oil pan has an oil passage cover, and they're removable. So we're just going to take that cover off of our pan, we'll drill and tap it so it matches the stock 305.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and the very wonderful AT&T Stadium in Arlington. A moment ago, here was the scene where the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Greg Zuerlein's got it teed up, and off we go from Arlington. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
All there's left to do is just plug in the sensor.
Next on our to-do list, we squeeze our Turbo 400 transmission into its new home and hear the roar of our new powertrain. You're watching Car News.
Here's the local Texas product, J.K. Dobbins. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now.
Set this engine up for. Now our stock fuel pump's going to deliver way too much pressure for our carburetor. So we're going to switch that out
Off
with
the
the
play
fuel
fake
pump.
to Dobbins. Here's Jackson rolling to his left.
We opted for a quick fuel pump.
And he'll just get rid of it.
Motherfucker.
Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it's the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
The fuel system, threw the headers in.
Crowd getting in it a bit already.
Jimmy put the
Here's an
radiator
early
underneath the hood,
410.
and we're getting ready to finish up the install on the drivetrain.
And help with that, we got our brand new Matco Tools 2-stage transmission jet
They go
that can hold
play
up to
action with
1,000
Jackson.
pounds. And this thing has a foot pump with a foot activated release to really give us control of the
Good D, good D.
Incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it, and oftentimes not get away.
Up there.
They're going on fourth down. It's Jackson.
Prior to
Forced out
jacking
to
up the
his left.
transmission, you need to install this.
And this is caught,
It'll
but
allow
they
us to
say
shift
out of
our LS to
bounds.
match up with the
That
torque
would have been a
converter
first
on our
down, but he
turbo
couldn't stay
transmission.
in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football.
On top of
I
that,
don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late-game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way.
Final round at 74 pound-feet. Let me give you a hand with this thing.
So a little trick to this, since we have the headers in, it's a really tight squeeze. We actually loosen the header bolts so that the engine can tilt back a little bit more so it'll clear the ears on this bell housing.
We also pulled the torque converter because we didn't want to
Here's
chance
the first
it
carry
falling
for
out and
Ezekiel
dropping it.
Elliott.
And once we
And he
hit
will
the
lose
transmission
yardage here
back up
back at the
into straight,
23-yard
converter
line.
back in.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
You just need to get this lined up.
Before we connect the flex plate to the torque converter, we need to install the crossbar. The turbo
Loss of a
400
yard there
crossbar
to start
comes
out.
with
That
an
leads to
additional
a 2nd and
mounting
11.
drill a hole for, and add an additional bolt.
A give to Elliott
Finally,
running
we can marry our
left.
engine and our transmission together. To do that, we'll have to work
And
on
he
the
is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, a 23-yard run. And the Cowboys on just 2 plays have taken the lead.
That we got from sunracing.com. Our stock shifter won't work with our
Zerline good with a PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game.
So carefully disassembling the old shifter will allow us to see where we're in the 6-cent console and prevent our new shifter from sticking out.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
I think that'll work.
With Jimmy finishing up the interior.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4
and their brilliant
yards.
shine detailing. Now their polymer net shield is actually a sealant, so it's going to help protect the finish of our paint on our Camaro. And it's pretty simple to apply.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football?
The polymer net shield will give us up to 6 months of protection. But when we're ready to bring the Camaro out and just dust it off before we hit the track, we can go ahead and use their brilliant shine detailing. Now this stuff can be used as a waterless wash. And when you combine the detailer and their polymer net shield together, it will give our Camaro up to 9 months of protection.
Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. From the 24, Jackson.
Good
His
D.
throw's going to be incomplete.
And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
He was looking for Rashad Bateman there. It's third down.
When you want to do something different, you turn the target. They transform cars and trucks.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Rolling to his right.
Come on. If you dream it, they can do
Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got
Good
it.
shit, good shit.
Says the sign judge. And that's good enough for a first down. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47.
And it may not look like we've changed much, But everything we did was in the engine bay and underneath this 90s.
Here's Jackson.
That's right. We removed the low power 305. And
that's complete. It's down in Duvernay. He'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
To back that up, we installed a turbo 400 transmission along with a new shifter that will work with the manual valve.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here's 2nd and 10.
And today we're going to see a much bigger transformation on the outside of our canal. This car is really
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And it's going to have to handle a lot better than it did
down
last
inside
time.
the 15, shy of the 10.
We're going to be adding a much wider set
down
of
at the
wheels.
12, it's
Plus,
1st and 10.
We're going to be on a set of fender flares because we want to stick with this autocross theme. And we want this thing to handle.
Right
so we're going
back
to
to Dobbins on first. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, falling like a lawn chair. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Out to his left. This is caught. Touchdown.
First thing we're going to do on the interior of our Camaro is install a Boulevard kit that we got from Summit Racing. Now this is a
Good shit.
Point away from tying the football game.
because it has prevent angles.
Oh,
and
such
the tubes are
great
even
concentration there,
Now, we
going
don't
right up
necessarily
against the
need
side
a
of the end zone,
roll
but
bar
able to get the feet in
for the
bounds.
safety
There's
aspect.
so many
But
things
what
that
this
go
is
into
gonna
that
do is
catch, and you
help
just
stiffen
mentioned the
chassis,
concentration,
and it's going to make
being
this
able
car
to catch
handle
the
better.
football.
First thing we got to do is
Intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So the inside was 35.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Not much leg here. Fields this at the 24-yard line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Now that we have the hoop in place, we can get to work on installing base plates. And what these are for is that in the event of a wreck, it'll spread the load over the floor instead of the tube punching a hole through the floor. To install our base plate, we'll prep the area with a grinder. And with our base plate trimmed down to fit the
About
space,
set for
we'll
this
get the
next
few
drive by
taps
the
to hold
Cowboys
it.
offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
55-degree angle. Back inside the Camaro, we need to tack in our base plate for the down bars. And then we can test fit to see if everything
Elliott
lines
running
up.
right. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 near the 37.
Alright, let's just weld the plates in. Then we'll weld the bars in. We'll need to take some care when we're welding
After
in the
one,
space.
a 1-point
First, we
game,
don't want to
7-6.
the floor of the Camaro. And second, we don't want to warp any of the sheet metal that makes up the floor. To prevent this, we're going to be using a MIG, so we can turn on and off the heat quickly. And we'll be moving around, so we don't put too much heat into one place.
With the hoop and down bar, we'll be taking a
They
different
put him in the
approach.
backfield, and he
Anything
will
we're going
not
to be using
escape.
TIG.
And that is not going to get it done. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
We'll tackle the point where the down bars meet the hoop first. This way, you can just tack it in, slide the whole assembly out of the Camaro, and weld it on the bench.
They're
That way we
indeed
don't
going
mess up
for
a
it. It's
nice end.
Prescott.
Oh, good shit.
They cannot
We
convert,
decided to
and
cage
they turn it
base
over.
plates
Boy,
and
a
burn these in
curious
with TIG.
decision to go
Leaving
for
only
it.
the crossbar
Doesn't
to be
pan
installed.
out, and the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Ball up to the 35 now as they come
The
up
last
on
thing we're going
1st
to be
and
installing
10.
on our interior is a set of seats and seat brackets we got from Summit Racing. Now, the best thing about these
Here's
seat
Jackson
brackets
to
is
throw.
they go right
He'll
in.
buy some time right. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Coming up,
Blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to it, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. It's right to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate, incomplete.
with the interior of our mirror all buttoned up, it's time to move our thoughts underneath the car.
So we got all these.
They go play action now. Jackson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Micah Parsons drops him for a loss of 12, and it also brings up fourth down.
Shock setup and move up to a coil overshock setup. Plus, we're going to get rid of the tired old rear end that's got 190,000 miles on it and replace it with a remanufactured one that's got 373 gears and a limited slip differential. But before we can put all these parts on our car, we got to take the old ones out.
Jackson.
To kickstart the suspension tear-out.
Oh, now saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Cowboys defense is going to get him the football back.
Along with the castle nut before giving it a few.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates. They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coaches to stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
Maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Now to keep our shop floor clean, we're going to do some fluid management before we disconnect the calipers. We've already drained the master cylinder up in the engine bay, but there's still plenty of brake fluid in the lines that can drip all over the floor. So to help us, we're going to use a vacuum
incomplete
cleaner
pass
to
on
keep the
that
shop
last
floor
play, and that
nice
means
and
they'll need to come up with something
this
here on
does a
third
good job
down.
at getting most of the brake fluid out,
Here's
but there's
Prescott.
always some stubborn drops that you'll have to clean with a shock towel.
Toward the
With our
side,
brake fluid
did he
disconnected,
keep the
we can
field?
remove the
Yes, he
calipers.
got them both down, says the
And
side
scrap the
judge,
center leaf
and that's good enough for a
also
first down.
We'll work on removing the
sure that
spindle
was
next.
necessarily a
The most
safety
dangerous
valve or
part
check
about this
down
portion
throw on
is
third
the
down.
coil
Sometimes
spring.
just try and
And you
find
can
the
tackle
open
this
guy
in a
and get
number
him
of
the
different
ball.
ways.
He did
The way
exactly
we chose
that.
to do this is by loosening the lower ball nut. Using a spring tension to help us knock it loose.
Nice pickup of 9 yards.
Now it's important that we
first
don't
down.
take the nut completely out. Otherwise the spring tension could cause some serious damage.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in
With
this
some
first
6-10
half of
jack
action.
stands, we'll support the lower control arm on the cradle, and this is where we can safely remove the castle nut. At the top of the strut tower, we can remove the nuts that hold on the
We
cap.
remind you that coming up in 2 minutes time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have
This
highlights
releases
and
the entire
analysis of his
assembly,
first half of
allowing us to
action.
remove the
And
strut,
he stopped
spindle, and
immediately
rotor
there.
assembly all in one
No
piece.
gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Then we'll raise the car off the jack
So if you've
stands
been playing defense in this
and
one,
carefully
it's a
pry
little
the
bit
coil
of the
spring
good
loose
and
with the
some
long
bad,
pry bar.
because they did give up the touchdown run to him early, but shut it down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're
All there's
exactly
left to
right.
do
I would say
is
they've
remove the
contained him
lower
very
control.
well. On 3rd down, Elliott. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 42 yards on the ground for it now on 9 carries.
Each team has its own terminology. Some people call it jumbo, some call it monster, some call it king. But it doesn't really matter. They brought in a big lumber to pick up that first down.
Yeah, you think about a goal line defense with the goal line offense.
Follow your blocking, man. Don't leave your blocker.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was a terrific play, causing a loss. As a middle linebacker, simple. You can either fill
The last
holes
thing to be
or you can
disconnected
attack
is
them,
the
as he
e-brake
did
cable.
there.
A pair of
They'll
pliers
try to
release it
throw
from the
now.
bracket,
Prescott.
allowing us to lower the axle.
We blew that.
It's intercepted.
In the half, we pulled back
Picked
the
up by
carpet so we
Patrick
could
Queen.
Good
And
deep.
the Ravens are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a
Yeah,
normal
bad throw,
situation,
bad
too,
throw.
isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. If there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
Watching carpets.
There we go.
Heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Pick drop by Trayvon Diggs. And they are into field goal range now as he's got the first down at the 26. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. That's something to touchdown.
Tony Pollard, 26 yards. And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Inside the car. What you can do is
Right
look
there.
up the tag number for your axle, and that'll tell you what gear ratio you have. But what if you don't have that tag, or what if it's missing? Well, there's another way to do that. On the front side of the passenger axle tube is your axle identification number. Well, if we take that first number, plug that into Google, that'll also tell us our gear ratio. Well, by looking that up, this says we have 273 gears, and that's just not going to work for autocross. So that's why we ordered our remanufactured axle with 373 gears, because that's just going to give us better off-the-line acceleration.
The first part of our rear suspension install is going to be these coilovers, but they install a little bit differently than the stock shocks. As you can see, the stock shock uses a stud with a nut to hold it in place. On our coilover, we have a rod end type in with a special bracket that goes on top, and then this stud goes in the original shock location. Cool.
Oh man, this thing is just running out like $1 million. Alright man, results are in, and there's no way you're going to believe this. I ran a 41.78, and Jimmy, he wrote it down right here, Jimmy ran a 42.25.
That's sad.
I actually beat him in something.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and the very wonderful AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction to the Cowboys, no exception. They're set for football in Big D as their guys will do battle with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really wide tires, and the aero package had to do something.
And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here.
If you guys like anything we've done with the build or want to see anything more with the build, why don't you go check out PowerNationTV.com, and as always,
You're watching Carcass.
Today on Detroit Muscle, we've got a big basketball and how-to deck for you, starting with a brand new project car. It's an iconic muscle-era machine and a real-deal barn find.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. A handoff left, Elliott. He takes this for 3 to the 29. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. To throw is Prescott. And looking for Lamb, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. So, CD, his very first pass of the afternoon intercepted.
And I know that's a major surprise for any quarterback because, look, let's face it, no one thinks about throwing interceptions. But think about all the warm-up that we saw, right? Every pass he threw wasn't a single interception because, oh, that's right, there were no defenders out there. A little bit different when there's live guys out there chasing the football.
God damn it, lucky the phone rang.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes.
Oh, we about to get the ball back.
He's going to take a shot right away. This is
Oh, shit.
for a Chiefs touchdown.
Motherfucker.
Patrick Mahomes, he can do everything seemingly.
All
That
right.
time he just reared back and let it fly.
And we knew that this offense was going to try and put pressure
Won't be answering the phone no more.
They knew that they had an advantage, pressed it, and there you go. Big play for a touchdown on their very first possession.
Yeah, you see the final number there on how far that ball traveled. Pretty impressive. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is Tony Pollard, and he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
Before we fire up that pressure washer, though, we need to get some degreasing done here in the engine bay. What we're going to use is this gunk all-purpose cleaner. Degreasing.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they start 1st and 10. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
And that's right here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy this caliber runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game goes.
Come on, man. Get your slow ass up out of there.
They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, I would have figured up to the 9-yard run on the previous play. Getting one more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
3rd and short yardage, Prescott. And that is incomplete.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
With that done, we can move on to the body. Boy, does she need a bath real bad.
Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
Nasty old bird.
They're going to try and throw. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
Mission accomplished on that throw. Slant, pick up the 1st down. I like how he just put it on the receiver and didn't need him on that one.
Happened quickly. Defense, not much they could do. A 1st down carry by Elliott. They find some open field here.
Look at the panic button.
Ezekiel Elliott, 64 yards. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game.
Earlier in the week when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week, and he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point.
Hey guys, welcome back.
It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the 1st quarter, and we're tied 7-7.
Get an idea of what I need to replace and get a game plan for attack. After removing the dirt, some of the old body work is starting to push through. And you can see
so only even at 7 now as they kick it away.
Quarters on both sides. So we're going to need those. Hopefully, we're not
a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Best way to figure out what a canvas looks like and provide us with a really good foundation is to strip off all this old paint. So the next thing we need to do, get this thing torn down, gut that interior.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And that is incomplete. The coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Well, Wayne pretty good headway carrying the old Chevelle down, but he hit kind of a small snag. We can't get into the trunk.
From the gun, it's Mahomes.
But we got a couple of ways we want to show you.
Ooh, he's scared.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Or if it even fits or locked. But this is how you can get in. The first thing to try,
working from the gun, Mahomes.
and now use some lubricant.
Yeah.
as he throws there, incomplete.
This is what you want to see from the defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense?
Yeah, don't even like to get in there at all.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw.
Yeah.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position.
Pretty good shape. So the lesser of the 2 evils is going to be chewing on that lock sauce.
Start with a smaller
On first down, Elliott. Big hole up the middle. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Cowboys have taken the lead. Zerline connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7.
All right, now we got most of the body taken apart.
Now for the touchdown, it's Zerline. We'll kick it away.
That interior, big good.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The owner's manual is pretty cool. We've got a warranty information. It's neat. And this is the coolest one. It's the original bill of sale. It's got some pretty cool info on it. The original owner's name, when they bought it, June 14th, 72. This thing actually had white walls, power steering, and AC. Coolest part about this, though, shows here, owner traded in a 1966
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down is normal. The call's going to be a bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for it. Didn't happen.
Hey guys, welcome to Detroit Muscle. Today we're jumping back on our Chevelle project, and there's going to be a boatload of sparks flying for sure.
The last time you saw this thing, we were ripping and tearing into it and taking off everything that was screwed or glued into place to get it torn down and sent off to the blaster.
Confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And going deep for Hill.
They went ahead and tore everything down.
And this
good shit.
He pulled it in one-handed. Mahomes fighting Hill for a big play. 58 yards.
Tell the truth, partner. You didn't think he was coming down with that one, did you? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I did. I'll tell you what, though. A one-handed grab of that length. Talk about giving your team a little juice.
Oh, big time. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about that one, whether you're on the field or not. It permeates its way through the entire team, and I can't wait to see what they do on the next down.
They'll contain him to just 4 on 2nd down.
Pretty decent shape as far as sheet metal goes. This is going to sell us the body work is hiding.
Now here's Mahomes sliding out of the pocket.
You got to adapt the process to the
This is
Damn.
by Hill for a Chiefs touchdown.
We're going to use it.
Tyreek Hill.
Good shit.
2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying up this football
take a
game.
chance of warping anything, but the crushed glass worked real good. Being crushed,
Butker now to add the extra point.
It gets down in them little hard to get places, cleans this stuff out. Now, we've all heard the
And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. These two teams all tied after one.
Down here, you can see where a not so great repair has been made where this part's had quarters put on it. But that's not the sandblasted part. Where it
This
does come
one
into
tied
play,
at
it's only
14
big
now
old
as he
time.
sends
If you
this
use
one
the wrong
away.
technique or too much pressure, you can actually warp it up and screw it up. This is
And
why
they'll let
you
that
do
one
that.
go as it skips from the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Without hurting it, which can be pretty tricky. You see, when you hit that metal with a bunch of high velocity,
the Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket.
Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. Ezekiel Elliott, a guy who considers himself underrated, has told his detractors to put some respect on his name. Hard not to respect a run like that.
And that's why one of the best running backs in the game today, because this run combined all the elements. Started with patience, and he was just waiting for the right lane to materialize. Then once he saw it, he used his speed and escapability in tandem and turned this into a tremendous play.
He covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on next-gen stats. Zerline good with a PAT, and the lead is now 21-14.
Now we need to get it loaded up. Back to the shot.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They'll look for a drive to tie this up. Down 21-14 as they have it first and 10.
Now we've got it back in the shop, and it's ready to just actually take both the two.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you got to be quick when you go through the progression. Here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, keep standing in the pocket. But just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time to hit him and force that incompletion.
Not to mention, our coach, super durable.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They forced incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
We knew this drive was going to need both real
Tries to force it in, it's intercepted.
Good D.
Picked up by Kelvin Joseph. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They felt they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
178 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Again to Elliott.
You factored in cutting out.
This carry, despite the good move, will be stopped short of the 10. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
And start racing up the car. This is the first thing we'll do because
a couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2.
And if we cut it out without bracing it, it can bend and the whole car will be out of shape. Boy, we don't want to have to fool with all that.
10th carry now for Elliott.
Good hit, good hit, good hit.
Forward, but it looks like he did not make it. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring it up 4th down. The free safety roaming all the way up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle?
Running with Elliott, and he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. The type of game that he's having running the football, there was no doubt who they were giving the ball to.
So why didn't they just go ahead and go after him on defense? Right? If you know it, right? You know he's having that type of a game.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. Zerline connects on the extra point, and the lead now up to 14.
Detroit Muscle presents
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline, and he'll kick it away.
All right, the next thing that we're going to
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
What it did was the factory is it was too big to make those, squeezed the two patches together, and fused them together. Now, for us, we don't have that type of equipment. We're going to have to use some rosette welds to kind of duplicate that. Now, cutting this thing out, there's probably going to be
the Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up on the shot.
Okay, yeah.
And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown.
Good game, cuz.
Remember what we just saw? That's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. It is fielded right at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Like we are here on the Chevelle, we kind of have to assess the situation.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now Mahomes to try again after the pick six. They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be taken down with a first down as they get about 14 out of that one. And we go to the 2-minute warning.
Thus, rotation, going to save us some work.
Bye-bye.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. Give him 10 yards on the keeper, and it'll lead to a second down.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches.
Now Mahomes. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys 35. To throw, it's Mahomes. A quick slant to Hill. 7 yards, the pickup there.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On first down, Mahomes. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
They go play fake. Mahomes. Eluding the pressure right. His throw incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Anthony Brown. And the Cowboys are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Well, we got her loaded up on the trailer.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. Meanwhile, Prescott's throw pulled in by Lamb. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now, light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting.
And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
Those are adjustable for both preload and out-to-second alignment, which is pretty handy. Now, the kickoff should help flatten those curves.
Throwing on second and long. Prescott letting one fly deep for Cooper. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break.
Both teams making their final preparations for the second half of action. So with that, let's get you back out to Arlington, where we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23.
These upper A-arms, there's actually 2 ways to install the cross shaft. On the shallow side, this is a stock location. Now the other side, this is a deeper cutout. It actually gives you an 1/8 inch more, which gives you more adjustment.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up.
Good game, cuz.
It's time to start assembling our front shocks. The first thing to go on is this lock nut. We're going to run this all the way down until it's at the bottom of the threads. No farther than that. The next thing is going to be the spring seat. It's not where they're going to be at ride height anyway. Those are actually going to be too low. So now's a good time to lubricate those threads with some anti-seize. This is a really important part because if you don't lubricate these threads, it can cause galling on this aluminum shock body, and that'll void your warranty on your shock, and that'll be bad because you won't be able to adjust your ride height. Another thing is we're using a nickel-based anti-seize here and not a copper-based. That way it blends in with the shock body and it looks a lot nicer than the copper would. We're also going to put anti-seize on this thrust washer here. Now we could just use the thrust washer and then put the spring on top of it. We're actually going to be using a thrust bearing as well. So the thrust washer goes on first, then the thrust bearing. Then we'll anti-seize this other
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and the very wonderful AT&T Stadium in Arlington. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. Greg Zuerlein now. He'll handle the honors to get us started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
It floats to the lower shock mount and gets dropped into the pocket or the lower control arm. 4 bolts attach the adapter bracket to the A-arm and it sits down. Like I said earlier, these ultimate ball joints from QA1, they are adjustable with some preloads. They come pretty loose, so we need to get some preload adjusted in here.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. But the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Now Gordon on first down. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook. Now 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Before you install this spindle, is to index your ball joints. It may not sound like much.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
These new spindles are just like the original.
They'll give it to Gordon on the shotgun.
Starting with the lower,
and he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea to slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. And Gordon's got it. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here, and just load up for it and see what happens.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater.
This is a 13-inch kick, so it comes with the 13-inch.
Good hit.
That's going to wind up incomplete.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and forced the incompletion.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
The best thing about this kit is that it's designed specifically for 68 to 72 A-body.
Back to the ground now with Gordon. And a nice pick up there. He gets about 5 down to the 40-yard line. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, and now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
3rd and goal for Bridgewater. Under pressure, down he goes.
Good shit, fellas.
Odighizuwa in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down.
Fancy aluminum dust cap.
Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal.
The runner can go on.
And McManus able to put it through.
Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for it. You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, they took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
Measurements on each side and get an average. The first measurement is 751 thousandths, followed by 765. And on the other side, 563. With about 200 thousandths difference, we're going to remove the caliper, loosen the caliper adapter plate, and install 100 thousandths in spacers between the caliper bracket and the adapter plate. Those get tightened, and with the caliper back in place, we can check our measurements. Our new measurements range from 651 thousandths to 665 thousandths. Oh, we're good. With the brakes buttoned up, we're going to move on to the steering. So we went to year 1 and got us a quick ratio steering box. This has got a 12-to-1 ratio. It'll turn from lock to lock in 2 3/4 turns. What that means is that'll help us social well whenever you start snatching on the steering wheel. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff bolted in.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They start on the ground with Elliott.
Come on, man. How you get through there?
Should be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside. And he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash.
We got ours with the fabricated F9 housing and back brace, 35 spline true track differential, force 35 spline axles, and the provisions for those bare brakes. Now, when we ordered ours, we ordered it bare because we weren't sure what color we were going to go with at the time. So now we just need to get this thing cleaned up, get a couple of coats of paint on it to protect it from the elements. Since the rear end came with the axles already installed,
after the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Followed by the T-bolts and bump stops. A little bit of brake parts to Elliott. Got shop towel with clean off all the oil.
Good run, good run.
Gain of 9 here up to the 34.
A little bit of masking tape will keep any overspray out of our housing. Same goes for the vent tube. We also mask over the center.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
To coat our rear end, we decided to go with UHD high temperature 12-bar chassis. Now, this is ideal for this because our rear end is bare and this doesn't require the use of primer. It's going to keep corrosion, rust, and chemicals from getting into that rear end housing. The first coat needs to be sprayed on light and evenly to provide a good surface.
On 3rd down, it's Elliott, and he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll try the right side with Elliott. He'll get this up to about the 40. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And we're just about ready to install this thing. But we're going to
on
do
2nd down, it's Pollard.
Back in the day, they were thinking about going with the uniform special.
There he goes.
Gone, cuz.
So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone.
And this is a play defensively where you're just looking around and saying, what was that? What just happened? You're looking at your teammates, they're looking at you. And let's face it, your defensive coordinator, he's not going to tip his cap to it. That's not how football works, but he probably should have after that run. That was absolutely sensational.
The next-gen stats are going to show us the total distance he covered there. Better than 70 yards. Zerline good with a PAT. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Detroit Muscle presents Back to Basics. Tips for the beginner gearhead.
When you're doing it full
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. From the 30 on 2nd down. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And that is incomplete.
Got some applause for the defense there. They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On 4th down, Sam Martin is on to punt for the Broncos. CeeDee Lamb deep for the Cowboys.
Rear, ready to roll.
Still ahead, we'll take a look at how to mount brake lines for great looks.
It'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10.
With assembling our chassis for our 72 Chevelle project. The next task at hand is going to be installing
the Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the #1 thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we got them set up so well for play action. Now's the time to take a shot. But you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground.
On 2nd down, Elliott once more. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Passing the lines with a fishing plant and ARP hardware.
2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score.
We'll do this all the way down in the same locations that the
We remind you in just a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Orlando and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process, when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
He gets touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott, 40 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Well, they've done a pretty good job keeping him in check to that point, but he finally breaks off a nice run here and gets into the end zone.
And it just takes one, doesn't it, partner? That can undo a lot of good work that a defense has done to that point. You break off one right there, and everything
Good shit, fellas. Good shit.
Sirline connects on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11.
Yeah, we still have a whole lot of work to be done on the body itself.
Now after the touchdown, it's Sirline. He'll kick it away.
Sanded, body work and paint. But that's why it's
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Super sweet. What do you think?
I think it was great. Let's leave it over to the lights for a while.
All right, buddy.
Today on Detroit Muscle, we'll be
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And the first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive's going to go a long way towards telling us whether they actually have a chance to come all the way back in this game or not.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
He made trips to the blaster to reveal the condition of the sheet metal, and we stuck a new floor in it right away. Then while the chassis was off, we upgraded the suspension. We've got a couple of things going on with our
Bridgewater.
One of those is obviously the interior.
Good deep.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well. You know, he's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
He'll get this one to Patrick. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Well, they picked up the first down, but I'm just going to say I didn't like it before the ball was snapped, and I don't like it now that they picked it up. Think about field position on their own side of the 50. They don't get it. They put their defense in a bad spot, and it's just not a decision that pays off very often.
It wasn't fourth and a yard. There was some meat on that ball.
There really was. Fortunate to get it in that situation, but not a call I would make very often. Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Bridgewater's throw there, complete to Hamler. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Bridgewater's throw here into the hands of the receiver, Judy. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now the Broncos will use their third and final timeout, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Bridgewater again. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. Second and goal. Bridgewater. This is caught for a Bronco touchdown. As the first half is winding down, and the Broncos are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Extra point from McManus is good, and the lead is down to 4. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And we'll see what they opt to do with just 14 seconds remaining until intermission.
Now that we've got all of our culture and phones,
dancing to his left.
Just take a better look at it and figure out
and they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter.
So we just need to get it cleaned up. One thing we noticed while we're tearing this thing down.
Final play of the half, Prescott. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Both teams making their final preparations for the second half of action. So with that, let's get you back out to Arlington, where we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
And we welcome you back now alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. Now Pollard. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
What we're going to do, we're going to use duplicate colors rust. We'll just spray this onto the surface. It's actually going to transform the rust into kind of a black primer, something we can paint over. It's going to get rid of the rust we have and keep rust from coming back.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in the second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense. And I think the coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
With some black duple-color enamel and let it dry.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Again, it's Elliott.
See how this puzzle of a seat goes back.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 63 yards rushing for him now in the ballgame.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Back onto our seat bottom frame and get it recovered. But before we put the foam on,
and before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
The springs will wear into the foam cushion of the seat bottom. And besides, they did it this way from the factory. Excuse me.
3rd and short yardage, Prescott. Open man, it's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
It's nice, clean, and new.
Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Now, here's a good example of why you don't throw anything away until you're finished with the project. This old seat foam and smell
They'll
bad,
run on first down. It's Elliott. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off a big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking in the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
They'll cut through this foam like butter and give you nice edges as well.
They'll run with Elliott.
And
he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
And they've got the final construction with the L-Tide style inserts, just like they would have had from the factory. We can't go slapping them on just yet. Something we need to
and the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Cowboys. Blake Jarwin, 44 yards. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drop.
Zerline good with a PAT. And that makes it a 21-10 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Don't let anybody tell you that upholstery guys don't earn their keep.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that leads you to bigger errors.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Bridgewater now.
There's our seat. We've come a long way from where we started.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
And the interior is going to be this medium green.
Bridgewater's throw taken in here by Patrick. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Main thing is to make sure this thing's prepped properly.
To the air again with Bridgewater.
One is this texture that's broken.
Open man is Gordon, complete. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Looking for the end zone. And this is incomplete.
This all comes
he
as a
had
kit called
6
the plastic
points
prep
right in his
system.
hands,
We
but
got it
could
from
not
single
hang
source in
on.
Nashville. It's made by
Dallas, Texas is the spot, third quarter inside AT&T Stadium. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10.
That the paint can stick to.
Letting one go deep for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Ball. And the Cowboys will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
Well, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive,
My fault.
Here's one that's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And they will set up shop in enemy territory.
But I'm right back in the game. My fault, my fault.
that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Following the interception, here's Bridgewater. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. A gain of 6 there on first.
Today on Detroit Muscle, it's on a big new sheet metal
From
on
the
your
36,
ride.
Bridgewater. Outright, this one goes to Patrick. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
While the body was off, we upgraded
Out of the gun, Bridgewater.
donated the frame to the body.
That's out to the flat for Gordon. 3 yards to gain there, 2nd down.
Car has a quarter-pound issue in the usual spots right behind the rear wheel. There you go. Got quarters on, and we got
And again, it's Bridgewater. Over the middle, complete to Judy. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater.
All the factory mounting points. Well, we need to get the rest of this front end bolted on so we can move on to the next step.
Ooh, good shit.
There is he'll make the diving catch. A diving catch for the score he laid out. That was special.
And you know the first thing they're going to check, right? Did he complete the process of the catch? All the way through, all the way to the ground. Ball doesn't hit the ground without control in his hands. All of that, yes. Check the box, touchdown.
Bridgewater will try and throw.
Come into place.
And this is caught. They got it.
Damn.
And that could be
Good shit.
2 points. It gets him back within a field goal. After the touchdown, here's McManus.
Remember the doors before we cut the quarters off. So all the body lines are good from the front of the door back, which means we can use the leading edge of the door here to adjust our fenders. And you might say this paint stick right here is the industry standard for the thickness of a gap on body line. So
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, it's very close, one-score game.
And if I'm a defender,
True.
I'm actually chirping Jimmy on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, he picked off the left, so what you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
It's actually sticking out a little bit here. But the fender sticking out just a little bit isn't really a main concern of ours. If this was
Still
a really
9
nice
remaining
show
on
car,
2nd
something
down.
we were going to try to win an award with, we might want to make sure that was nice and flat. But actually, a lot of these cars came from the factory with the fender sticking out a little bit, or the door in a little bit.
They go
down
alley
the windows
again.
in to allow that door to go behind
And
the
he'll
fender.
wind up with about 6 up
We
past
are
the
going to make
30 to
sure
the
that we
31.
get this gap just right.
But the
With
objective
few
there,
things
I
to
mean,
take
yes, the
into
positive
consideration
gain, that's
when doing
nice,
that.
but works
See
apart.
that the gap's
Yeah,
too
you're
big, so
exactly
it makes
right,
it
but
easy
the
to
problem for
push the
them
fender
is still
back
within a
at the
possession,
top.
so they
With
can't
just
just sit
one
on it
piece of
running the
metal,
ball.
what
They'll have to
happens
find a
here
way
is
to
gonna
throw it
affect what
effectively as
happens
well.
elsewhere.
This
Like
a
at the bottom where
big
we said
play
the
for
gap
both
was too
sides.
tight.
What will
So
we
the best
see
way to
here?
remedy this
3rd
is
and
to make
4.
sure all the bolts are
Prescott
loose
from the
and then
gun.
rotate the entire
Ooh, good D.
Well, the pick
that they needed.
and watch the
Couldn't pull
gap.
it in, though, and
Maybe
it's
a little
4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
It has to be a little frustrating for them
Don't let
because
our
they
nuts
know
hang, goddammit.
if they pick up a first
Too
down
much
there
time
and
left.
continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out.
Too much and not enough.
And sweat it out on the sideline.
There, we see that we got a new problem. The finger's lower than before. We're going to have to shim that finger up.
This is a pretty simple concept. Just loosen the mounting bolt enough to enable him to slide into place. Then check your alignment.
Oh, good shit.
They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
New hood from A&D bolted onto it. Now we're ready to see where we're at.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater to Gordon, out left.
There's something to keep in mind.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Hanging over the fender.
Good hit.
Second down throw for the end zone.
Taking too long to respond.
One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
That doesn't help. But we'll loosen the front and lean the whole thing back. Then we'll tighten them to check the fit.
From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal attempt, certainly in range, but they'll look for more yardage on 3rd down.
Yeah, we're flush. Now we're in pretty good shape, except for we need to slide the football just a little bit.
Bridgewater.
Overhang here, a little bit of
open man, he completes it to Judy. And he will have the Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th.
Up next, how to make those pesky hood
So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here.
Hey guys,
they come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be the final drive. And they got it inside the 10 at the 8. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Now Bridgewater.
Ooh, good shit.
On the right side. Touchdown.
Good shit.
Noah Fant from 8 yards out. And the Broncos have retaken the lead. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point.
That tells us,
and that will make this a 4-point game.
Must have had side trim on it. We're not running that stuff. So we'll have to load those holes up to go in. And then sometimes you may be adding something to it.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
We want to be running both of those emblems. Right now is the time to be drilling into this hood.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Nice, pretty clean.
For all that shiny stuff we were talking about, we went to Original Parts Group. They offer just about everything you need to restore the interior and exterior of your Chevelle.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. See if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. Sometimes I would say, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, it was up in points. We'll find out. Here's
my fault, fellas.
The line of scrimmage, just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Sharpie, drill.
They're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Not 2, not 3.
So after the run for no gain,
he's just hitting the panic button.
Grab our emblem.
Now Prescott.
Figure out where you want it.
He'll fire deep downfield from Lamb. And this is caught inside the 5. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line.
Then we'll bring our
play
emblem
here
back
for
in and get it
Dallas.
where we want it. Then we'll put some pressure on it to mark where we need to drill the holes. This is why we have 4 layers of tape. We use an 1/8 inch bit which matches the size of the post on the under.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on first and goal. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
I know defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on second and third down here.
Today on Detroit Muscle, the boys are going to make the dust fly while they get in some
He's going to get this
with
back to the 40-yard line and
learn some tips and tricks to make the panels on your ride as
use their
smooth as
third and
glass.
final timeout. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside.
Fucked up on that one. My fault, fellas. I did not mean to fuck it up.
Bell project today, and we're going to be working on the body work. Now, this oftentimes is the chore that is, let's say, the most dreaded,
to throw, Prescott.
The most labor.
He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the fourth.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
A score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they make the last tackle. You mess up, you could come back after a long way.
Now for the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
What we're using is some wax and grease remover.
To return it, here's Deontay Spencer.
Off the oil bank.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Towels to avoid spreading any contaminants. To apply cleaner, I prefer using it in a spray bottle instead of what a lot of guys do out there, which is take the lid of the jug off and put your rag over it.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out.
Good game, good game, good game.
Picked up by Sean Wright. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. And so much for the game-winning 2-minute drive. I think that interception return there pretty much seals the deal.
And one thing to keep in mind, in this situation with the score that close, defense isn't backing off and just giving you easy throws. They're playing aggressively as well. And they end up picking that one off and sealing the deal for themselves.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. On the return is Spencer. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Depending on your paint manufacturer, they may have different recommendations. Some of them out there say once the surface is clean, you're ready to start sealing, and then you can move on to paint. Or you may have to scuff it lightly if it's exposed to direct sunlight.
The Broncos on the field ready to start their next drive. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better, and try and execute that on the way out the door, and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base. Bridgewater. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Trying to go for the big one there on second down. Now they're likely down in their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
Gets this to Fan, and he will make his way out of bounds. That stops the clock, but they'll have something else to consider now. It's 4th down here. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
But the main body of the work done, we'll bust out that red pad and stuff down the spots we either couldn't get to.
Desperation time, 4th down, Bridgewater. He's got his tight end Fan, and he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agree. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. They want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Bridgewater's throw into the hands of Fan. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. One last shot now for Bridgewater. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
viscosity of this stuff is pretty thick. It's like a high-build primer, but it's only a 1K, meaning all you need to spray it is a thinner to mix in with it. Now, a lot of guys still use this stuff, but it's on implement and farm tractor.